wie?
No, zu sagen.
Here we go. Say hello.
Hello?
Hello. De Baba en de Zede met de grandson, the oldest Einikel. Here, let me move this. This is this is nice and bright. So I want to start at the beginning. I want to start like middle verse. The first thing you remember, the earliest memories that you have.
I have the memories when I was like this.
Like that, like a baby, like a little baby. So tell me, what was, where were you from?
From Mittelvishwe.
Mittelvishwe, and in Romania.
In Romania.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you remember? What was it like?
I remember when I was a little baby. My father wasn't alive anymore. I was born after 5 months. And I always missed my father and to have a sister. I had 5 brothers. And I used to come and cry to my mother, I want a sister and I want my father. Everybody has fathers, where is mine? And I grew up another year, then we went to school.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school and the teacher had 2 girls. They loved me very much. They asked me one time I should come, I should sled. You know what a sled is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the winter.
In the winter, yeah, there was a very big hill. And I went there with my cousin and my sisters. And the people pushed me down. There was a gate in the hill, and my foot was between the sled and the gate, and I got a broken foot.
Oi.
So my brother bring me home, and I couldn't walk.
Mm-hmm.
Before I went to sled, my mother told me I should wash the dishes. And I knew I have to do it, but my friends came and they told me they're going to help me. We should go for sled and then they're going to help me wash the dishes. But the dishes I couldn't wash anymore. I came home with a broken feet.
You walked home with the foot?
No, my brother brought me home of the back. You know.
Which brother?
Burach.
Okay.
And a cousin of Rumnessen. They two brought me home and they put me in the bed and my foot was very swollen and my mother came in and she saw me in bed. She said, what happened? So they told that I have something in my leg. And they couldn't take off not the shoe, not the stockings. They have to cut them up. So my foot was so swollen. And I was 14 weeks in bed. I was 7 years old. I was in the 1st grade. And all the girls, they passed the grade and I couldn't make it while I was in bed. And not even one doctor came to see me. We didn't have a doctor in our village. So
there was in Mittelvishwe, there was no doctor?
No doctor.
So where did the doctor?
In
Oberwäsche was 2 miles, was a doctor, but they didn't call a doctor. They put me leeches on the knee. They should take out the bad blood.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 14 weeks in bed, and when I get up, the girls come to see me every Shabbos, my friends. My mother went to shul, so one girl, it told the other girls they should put me by the table and put a girl, my friend, in bed, my mother is going to come for sure. She should see, she recognized me. You know, she used to come, she kissed me.
Yeah, yeah.
She would, you know, she recognized me, or she's going to see it's a different girl.
Mm-hmm.
So my mother came here and she saw me by the table sitting. She was very happy, and then the people came for shul, and everybody went home, and I wanted to go to bed. It was 7 weeks from when I broke my foot, and then I fell again, and I tripped, and the foot was very bad again, and I was another 7 weeks in bed, so it's 40 weeks. And I didn't pass the class while I wasn't in school. So I lost all my friends from the grade. And after I went, you know, we went Saturday to walk. And a lady saw me and my foot wasn't in place. I walked and I turned my foot the wrong way, so she called me, she said, Toby, let me see how you walk. So she pushed up my dress, and I walked. She said, go home and tell your mother your foot is not good, you have to do something. I came home and told my mother, this and this lady told me I turned the feet in the wrong way, I couldn't walk. So then they called a doctor. It came from Sighet. It was a big city.
Sighet, dat wat vermalen was. In Sighet in de hoofd.
You know, this is
Sighet's the big city.
The big city.
So a doctor came and he saw the foot. He said it could do something, but he has to operate. And my mother didn't let him do that. She was afraid I'm going to be worse. And I grew up like this.
But you can walk, you walk fine, yes?
I walk, even now when I walk, I turn the leg a little.
Still from that?
Yeah.
Still from when you were 7? Oh,
yeah. So, I finished my grade.
What did you study? What was school? Was just like one room, like a single class?
No, it was a whole, it was a few, it was the first grade, second grade, third grade, 4 grades we went to school. This was that.
Mm-hmm.
And after the school, I went, my mother sent me to learn how to sew. I was there a few weeks. No,
The heat. Yeah.
And after that,
In Mittelvishva?
in Mittelwestern.
Mm-hmm.
Je was there too.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Mittelvishva
was
is
in
Merzavlia,
Je
Balkan
was
Voda.
there too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was by the seamstress, and she had a niece. She was born in the 7th month. And they didn't have incubators there. So I used to go with another friend, with a big
Bike.
no, it's a bit like a milter.
Like a tub?
No, like, you know, you used to wash.
A basin, like a big bowl, like a
Yeah,
giant bowl.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we went to the slaughterhouse and we took up the belly and we bring it and they put on the baby in that, like for an incubator. You know, it was hot.
Inside
The
the belly of a cow.
Yeah. And they put on the child there.
For how long?
How long? For a few hours, and then he had to do it every time over and over. And the baby survived.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is gewesen an incubator in Mittelwestern.
So wait, one Friday night, you tell me that you learned a song in third or fourth grade that you still remember.
I used to sing beautiful, but I forgot.
But a song from in school when you were like in third or fourth grade.
No, this is not. This is
In Romanish.
a poem.
A poem.
Yeah, but it's a long thing.
Okay, I want to hear it.
I should say.
Yeah.
So I went to school and the teacher gave me this to say when the parents came to see the children how they work there. So this is the poem that I learned and I still remember it. It goes like this. It's in Romanian. Rugăminte din urmă. Poezie scrisă de Gheorghe Coșbuc. Eschilav tot un cercetor și tu întorci acum acasă și ce-i fecior frumos erai, doar oricum ce-ți pasă. Eu vei zi, ce-ți place. Eu vei vedea casă tău și casa voastră în vale și biată mama ți va ieși plângând în cale. Dar eu să rămân să mor pe aici, cu liftele pe gâni, parcă n-am să ajung să văd ziua de mâine. Cu 20 deodată în car, la groapă mă vor duce și bunul Domnul de mă avea o cap, o cruce. Noi de copii știm și am fost, ca frații ba mai bine, eu de-am avut un singur ban, l-am împărțit cu tine. Și auzi acum, când tu vei veni în satul și de întreba de-a mea venire, tu în adevăr să spui că n-ai de mine știre, n-am fost la un regiment, dar spune-le ce-ți place, că pentru ei ori mor, tot una face. Iar mama, Doamne, cum aș vrea, credințul să înșele, să spui că m-ai lăsat răhnit la turnurile grele. Și pentru ce să-i amăresc și zilele puține, că n-are în lume bun și drag decât pe mine. Și auzi acum gonistul de pe care du oltului din partea mea o caldă sărutare și ajungi în țară, eu te rog, fă-mi cel din număr bine, pământul tău să săruți și pentru mine.
What does it mean? Wait, Zadie, do you understand Romanish? You know?
Yeah.
This is, a soldier is gone in the army, and he was sick, and sie gewinnt another friend, he went home, hat gesagt, dass die sind der Mama, and die sind ein Haus, where you was gewinnt geboren. Sagt aber ich bleib du zu sterben, nach Beit Gott, also uns geben, ich sage mit Zeiber. It's a crutches, thing. Und dann hat gesagt, wenn du kommst daheim, mit der Fragen, wie ich bin, sollst du sagen, die bist nicht gewesen mit mir zusammen, und du weißt nicht das, nur wenn meine Mutter hat dich fragen, sollst du sagen, dass du mich übergelost in a place. Ja, sagte, no, uns haben wir gewesen so zusammen, als ich gehabt allein, in der Heimat ist gewesen allein, ob ich es geteilt mit dir, like mit a brother. Aber wenn du kommst daheim, sollst du sagen, du weißt nicht von mir, nur sagt but the people is nicht kein Chilik, sie kommen heim ja, sie kommen nicht. But my mama sollst du sagen, hat es mich übergelost dort in a place, Und sie hat nicht keine mehr, nur ein, wo sie hat, und sie liebt den Seier. Und Hester sagt der Herr, rief doch jetzt, dass er heimgehen. Und wenn du kommst in das Heim, wenn du kommst daheim, sollst du kischen die Erde. Und für ihn auch. Also ein Tina Teufel soll kischen die Erde für ihn tun, nicht nur für himself. Das ist das. Und ich kenne noch ein anderes eins. Another poem. Es drometsul, bunere maske suce drage, uli čore bunere mas, dumne zeuwe ai bestire, tata mama jeuwe las. Rete česken köstre ine, multe marur am se trak, und de lume se majafle, kui bashadisch kunshi drag. Alte Kasse, alte Sate, meiwe in alte Kasse, me voi het andere hazen zijn en andere villages en ik ken het, alte Kasse, alte Sate, möven to report me nu mai tusse tutsu meu, nu mai tusse tutsu me. Târgur Kasse, mai frumoasă, mjölse röte în zadar, tot în tine Kasse mică, me voi întorce door een jaar. Sagt, geht weg voor de Eltern en het haben zu, das weiß plenty, but geht sich een bessere time. En zu der Ende ist heimgekommen in das kleine Haus, wie sie wohnen, anyway.
Oh, okay.
Das ist das. Und ich habe gewesen, damals 7 Jahre alt, und jetzt gehe ich schon werden almost 88, and I still remember, and I still gedenke es.
When you were 7, the teacher was 88?
No.
Who was 88? Oh, now you're 88. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. My Yiddish, my Jewish is...
No, but you know, I said, als damals bin ich 7 Jahre, und ich gedenke es noch, weil jetzt bin ich schon bald 88.
Wait, in English? In English. You said that when you're 7, you learned it when you were 7, and now...
Now I'm going to be 88, and I still remember, and I gedenke es alles.
So tell me about the house that you grew up in. What was the house like?
The house was, my mother wasn't a rich lady, so she gewesen a Heider.
A room.
Yeah, and she had 5 Jüngler, and we gedacht zu tuition, and she didn't have, so she gave the house. Die pflegen kommen, die Kinder lernen von 5 in der Früh bis 10 in der Nacht.
So wait, so she had children learning there? Like it was a cheder?
Ja, und dann haben sie genommen unsere Kinder, sie hat nicht gedacht, sie holen kein Geld. So she gave the house, they should...
To the school?
Yeah, you know. And then, als wir gedacht backen Matzes,
yeah.
Als aufgegeben the house here of Pesach, everybody should almost gewähren Pesach day, und bei ihr hat man noch gemacht Matzes, und für den, wo es man gebackt Matzes, hat sie gekriegt, die Matzes hat nicht gedacht, zu holen kein Geld. Und ich habe gewähnt ein kleines Mädel, ich habe noch eine Stunde lang zu der Tisch, aber genommen ein kleines Bänkel, und ich habe mich aufgestellt.
Oh wait, in English, you're in Yiddish. So.
No, I was a little girl.
Yeah.
No, the matzahs is like this. They had flour on one side, water on the other side. My 2 brothers, one had geniet, der Matzes, einer hat gegeben das Wasser, und noch hat man es gedacht, walgern und backen. I was a little girl, and I didn't reach the table, so I took a little stool, and I went up and I made the matzahs better than all the people. Everybody took my matzah and they showed them, look how Toby, a little girl, how she makes it round beautiful and even. Not, the other, they made it a little, not so nice, but I did it the best.
And you owned some animals. You had a cow and a.
Oh, we had a cow. I used to milk the cow. Always we should have the milk, but my mother used to go and she bought milk from the Gentiles.
From the Goyim, yeah.
But she had to be there when they milked it. She took the milk and she came home, and then she had for two miles she went with a little wagon with big cans with milk to sell the milk. Mm-hmm. She should make something for the children. But we had a grandma, the mother's mother. She was a midwife, 55 years. She was like our father. Wherever she got, she took thousands of children. And they gave her some pears or plums or apples, whatever they had. And she never eat anything. She just brought everything for Etty's children.
And she lived in the house with you?
We lived by her. That was her house.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
she was like a doctor in the
town.
In the town. Whoever was sick, everybody came, and they called my grandma, and they helped all the people. Then when they had a baby, she brought me, it was a lot of poor people, she brought them food. And for 2 weeks she went every evening and in the morning to bathe the baby and to make the bed for the lady. There they lay in the bed for 2 weeks. Then they get up from the bed, people had to hold them, but they were so dizzy they couldn't walk. Mm-hmm. Now here they have a baby, right away they go up and it's a pleasure.
So you had a cow, you also had sheep? I mean, what
I have a cow, we had goose, we had ducks, kachkas.
Kachkas, sure.
Yeah, we had chickens, we had turkeys.
Where did they live? It was like a farm?
We had a big place. And we had a big garden. We made it and we put in potatoes, beans, everything was growing. We never bought except they used to live as by my mother. They had to buy only a little baking soda and some salt.
What about flour for bread?
The flours she used to buy like 50 pounds. Mm-hmm. And we had in the house a big thing. We had white flour for bread, and then for bread flour, and for
corn
flour.
So for Mama Liga, you made...
corn, we made it. We had a big, we had a lot of fields.
But you grew corn?
Yeah. We didn't grow. We had the earth and the Christian. They put in the corn and they picked it, and we had half and half.
Okay.
They took for the work, and we took, well, it was our place. We had hay for the cow we didn't have to buy. Mm-hmm. And we had a big thing in the garden we put in I don't know how many wagons with hay. It was called a shopra, you know. And the boys in the summer, they used to sleep outside on this place. And
Like a big pile of hay.
no, it was, you know, it was like a house.
Mm-hmm.
They had four, like a chippah.
Okay.
They had four things,
Mm-hmm.
and it had holes, and you put in, you wanted, when it was a lot hay, it was until the top. Then little by little,
It came down, down, down.
yeah, you could put it down and down.
Mhm.
And we made prune, from prunes you made, you know,
Like butter, like jelly, or
no, from prunes we made lekvar.
lekvar? Prune butter. Lekvar is like prune. It's like
Yeah. And my brothers used a whole night. They have to
stir.
where it shouldn't burn. Well, in the beginning, it's allowed with water until it cooks out. And then the little children used to have little, they made them from a little wood, like a spoon, and they took from there to nash.
And what about cheese and things? Did you made cheese?
No, my mother used to buy, she had oil. She used to buy 25 gallons at one time. We had uncles in America, sometimes they sent us some money. So when she got the money, she bought flour, she bought sugar, she bought oil, and other things we had from the garden and from the fields. We didn't have to buy nothing. But every morning we went in the garden, we took cucumbers and radishes and scallions and whatever, and beans and potatoes, and this was...
And did you have electricity?
What?
Electricity. Like
No,
like
no,
lights.
we had a lamp, kerosene.
A kerosene lamp.
Yeah.
Did anyone did the town have electricity, or there was no?
No. Until we went to Auschwitz, it wasn't
Right.
But now they have, I think they have now.
Not so much.
No.
Not so much. Cars also, no cars.
No, it was one car. We were little girls, and we never saw a car. So one car came, and we played outside, and we ran the whole street, you know, from all the sides, until the car came known to us. And then, you know, the man came out, and he hit us. He said, you see, you could get killed. You don't run when a car comes. So we ran away in a garden, but he catched us. And we used to play in balls, we used to play in from boxer, you know this boxer, how you say boxer in English?
Boxing?
No, boxer, to eat.
Oh, boxer. Boxer, it's carob.
Yeah, whatever, and they had little
Seeds.
So when this seeds was our play, we played with them.
With carob seeds.
Yeah, and we had the little rocks, and we played.
Like marbles.
Yeah.
So, no electricity, there was no radio.
Money take the radio. We didn't have a telephone in our city, in our village.
So how did you, no telephone?
When before, I was already 18 years old, and I never saw a telephone. So I was engaged, and my husband, they made a time when we should get married, but they called him in the army, and he couldn't came to the wedding. So we postponed the wedding.
What year was this?
This was in 1940.
1940.
And he was in the army.
Romanian army.
Yeah, and he called me, he goes away, he called me on the phone. It was in Obervishwa. It was two miles from us. And a person came to tell me, and this time, my husband is going to call me. So I went to the big city, and I waited for the call. When I took the phone, I told him, I was so scared, I didn't know what to do with him. Really,
I understand.
So when he spoke, it was like, no.
A shed.
A shed, a shed. Was heißt a shed? I don't know.
A Keisha? Magic?
No, a man, what is...
A shade.
Need
Yes.
shade.
Oh.
Like, you think it's in the...
A ghost.
A ghost.
A shade. Not a shade. Shade. I understand.
So I spoke, and he told me he could, well, he's in the army, we should make another day. So we made a date of April. It was 8 days before Pesach.
But how did you meet him?
Oh, I was with my brother. He was living in the Bukovina. You was in the Bukovina.
Oh, yeah, I was in Bukovina. What town?
Kamenesht.
Kamenesht.
And he was a teacher there. And he got married with there. And his wife was an aunt to my groom.
Mm-hmm.
And she was sick, and I was there. She had 5 children, and I took care of the children. And then she called him, and she told him, I'm a very good girl, and she would be very happy he should marry me.
How did you get from your town to the Bukovina? You walked? You took a...
No, we walked. We had
Buses.
Nation buses, a big a truck. In a truck, open,
Truck. With horses or with like...
No. It was a car.
Okay.
We went to Vatradorni. Bis gwin Vatradorni.
I was in Vatradorni.
And then you had to go, I was in Suchava, in Chernobyl. And then I went to Kamenesht. And it was a very thing. This boy, what I married, they introduced. He had a brother where we were living, and he wanted to pay, Chatfunisgeld.
Mm-hmm.
So he wanted, their uncle was in America, my father's brother, and he had a daughter. She was beautiful dressed. I wasn't dressed like this, but I didn't have the money like she had. And he talked, the father came home from America, so he told them he has a very nice brother. Maybe he could call him, he should come see the girl.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came, and I wasn't too far living from where his brother was living. And my sister-in-law told him, I live in, in Mittelvishwa, then I'm there, he could see me too. So I didn't know from that. I was out, we had a big storm, and we had a lot of water all over, and I was outside, and I was with a shovel, and I wanted to make room, the water should go down. There was a lot of stuff. It came, from the storm, and the water was standing, so I took away all the dirt, and the water should go through. And I am outside, and a beautiful young man come. I didn't know him, and he come and he said hello, and we started talking. And when he saw me, he didn't want to see the other girl already. So my grandmother, he wanted to go away. He came one day and he wanted to go home. So he didn't want to see my cousin. He wanted I should go with him to talk. But we were very religious people. We didn't go with boys. You know, when somebody walked with a boy, it was, you know, Toby should go with a boy in the street. It's something, you know, Chilul Hashem. So he told me I should go a little with him until he is going to see my cousin. So I went with him, we talked, and the cousin came out.
Do you remember what you talked about? You talked, what did
he did not finish it. We just talk, you know, with my brother, with the children, and you know.
Oh.
And she came out, she was dressed like a doll. She had a beautiful suit, a beautiful hat with gloves and a beautiful pocketbook and shoes. And she was made up the face like... When I saw her and I said, how could he take me when he could have such a beautiful girl, you know? And I didn't have money, when my father wasn't alive. And he had money. He wanted to take him to America, my uncle. Then he gets engaged with her. He took him, he should live in America. No, I couldn't do that. So she came out, and Burach, my brother, he came with her, and he left to Burach with Suri. She should walk in the front, and we walked in the back. And I wasn't dressed, and we walked a little. I said, look, you came to see Suri, but you want to go home. He didn't let me go home. Please come, you know. He's going to talk later with her, when he's going to be in the 2 miles further. And I should go with him. I go, I walk, I want to go back. He didn't let me. And that he didn't, you know, he didn't even want to see her. So he went to the boss, and he talked with, I came, but it was the city. I knew a lot of people there. I wasn't dressed, but I was in the house, you know, to go to the city, you have to dress up. So I didn't want to go in. A lot of people knew me, so I didn't want to go with him. So I said, look, I couldn't go further, you know, be well, and that's it. I came home, and my grandmother saw me, and she said, Toby, I see Gedalia likes you. To me, you are, you know, just a grandchild like Suri. I wouldn't mind he should marry you. I told her, how can I marry this man? I don't have money, I'm not dressed like her. She has a father, she has, they had a beautiful home, I knew it couldn't be. So he went to the, you know, to the boss, he should go home, and then he decided he'd come back.
Was this in the Book of Vina, or this
no,
was
no, it was in Mittelbisch.
Okay.
So I was home, and another cousin, she was married, Genessa, she comes to me and said, Toby, Gedalia comes back, he wants to see you, dress yourself, you know, like I should be dressed nice, and you're going to see what's happened. So he came, first he went to Davin, you know, Melchem Aleph, and then he came to the house. I didn't want to dress. How he saw me the first time, I said, I'm not going to dress, how can I? He saw me just before, now I should dress for him. I couldn't do that. So we sat, and I had my room. And we had there a table. I was on one side table, and here on the other side table. And we spoke until 5 o'clock in the morning.
Just the two, but was anybody
Just
with
me
you?
and him. No. He asked me, you put on some powder or lipstick. I said, sometimes if I hasten, I do it. He said, I would like to see, you should do it. And in front of him, I don't want to do it. So, no, I'm not going to do it. And I didn't change my clothes, nothing. He went away from me straight to the boss. And then he wrote a postcard, and he knew a few people there. So he said regards to everybody, to this girl, the sister-in-law had sisters. To the sister-in-law's girl, regards for this name, this name, this man. And me, he left to the end, and regards for Toby. So the girl told me that she was the first there, that you see, Toby, Gedalia sent me regards before you. And I said, look, who's the last? This is the best. I'm not worried. And then he went home, and then I went to my brother, and he come there, and we saw each other, a few times. And then he asked me I should go to gewähn Simchas Torah, I should go to their house. I wasn't engaged then. He had sisters, and I didn't know. My brother said, you should go there, why do you care?
Was he more modern than you?
No, he had a beard, he could a lot of learning, he was very religious. You didn't see a picture?
No, I did, but I'm just asking. He wanted to walk with you, you spent time talking.
No, he was...
Give me the
Walker?
What the wheelchair?
He was very religious.
Come. Can I help?
Under the arm.
1 second. We're going to do this. Okay. Kim.
right there.
Oh. Okay. Okay?
All right.
Okay.
He could go alone. He could go alone.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, he goes.
Take it with this.
Okay.
So I went there for the...
Is he coming back or is he going to learn now?
No, I don't know. You wanted to come back?
No, I'm just asking. I'll move.
So I went there for Yontif.
You make me like that.
Yeah.
Where?
And in Simchas Torah, I went to shul, and there was 3 brothers. They were very rich. They had a car. You know who had a car was something, a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
So they saw me in the shul. They wanted to, Gedalia should introduce me to them, but Gedalia didn't want to do that. They said that I have to go home, they're going to take me with the car to the station. So Gedalia came home and said to me, Toby, I have a car for you. When you want to go, you have 3 brothers, you could choose who you want. So I said, I'm not going to go with the car, sagt, it's better to go with horses, and here we had a horse with a wagon. His father wasn't alive, and he, the whole family, he was the bread, he used to make,
I'm listening.
he was the, he make parnassa for the, he had 8 brothers, 8 children, and the mother.
And what did he do for Parnassa?
I tell you, he was going with the van, and he was a businessman. He used to, with wheat he took, with he was a very a big businessman. He did big business. And he went in the morning, and every night he came home, but he never was home on the weekdays. And there was already Shana Rabbah, and another boy came. He saw me. He wanted to talk to me. So I was by the house by my mother-in-law. And my mother-in-law told me, Toby, somebody wants to see you. I should go out. So I went out and see there a boy. And we started to talk. And he wanted I should marry him. He said Gedal is too religious, you know, and so, you know, I didn't say I wanted Gedalian or something. And I wanted to go in the house. He didn't let me go in the house. He wanted to talk to me.
And you were 17 then? How old were you? 18.
And he wanted to talk. And I used to talk to him, and Gedalia went to shul. You know, Shana Rabbah in the night, the people go to shul. So Gedalia saw me walking with that guy. So in the morning he told me, Tobala, I see Michael wants, you talk to you, what he wants. So I was laughing, I said, he wants to marry me. And he said, it's a good idea. And then I had some pictures in my hands. And he wanted to see that pictures, and I didn't want to give it to him before, you know. So then he said, he's not going to let me marry nobody, he wants to marry me. He didn't tell me this, but after. And we got married, it was 8 days before Passover. 1940? 1940. And it was on a Sunday. I don't remember the date exactly, but I know when it was before 8 days before Pesach. And then he had a very big store, and the people broke the store and they took out a lot of stuff.
People? Which people?
Sie gewinnen Antisemiten. You know, the Kusa der uns gewähnt.
So let me, I have one or two questions going back.
Yeah.
You didn't have a telephone, you didn't have a radio when you were younger.
No.
How did you know what was going on in the world? Did you know what was?
We had papers.
Okay, so newspapers.
Newspapers. So we read the newspapers.
So 1933, 34, 35, 36 in Germany, Hitler was starting.
But we didn't even think about them. We said, you know, they are not religious. The German people, it's not going to happen to us, you know. And people came and they said, you know how they take to ghettos, they take to kill people. They're not going to come here. They were very religious people. They were poor, but they were religious. And then they started to cut the beards for people, and they wanted, the people in the old age didn't go to marry, you know, and Ämter, like, you know, wie heißt es? When you marry in the city hall.
City hall, yeah, okay.
So, the people just married in Jewish. It's not like this. When the German, they started, everybody had to go to the city hall, all people, and they had to marry. And then, you know, they started to cut the beards,
In Middle Vishva or?
In Mittelvishwa, yeah. But when I was married already, so I tell you, when I was married, he went home for the first days he was in my house, and the next days he went home to see what happened in the store. And after Pesach he came back and he told me, you know what happened. And after we were married, I went to live in Kovanesh. With him, I left my mother. My grandmother wasn't alive. And I went to Kovanesh, and 3 months after we were married, the anti-Semitic, they let us, all the people from the jails, where they gesessen in jail.
Prison, yeah.
Yeah, so they left them and they came and they killed people. The people were in the trains. Jewish people, they cut them off the ears, they cut them off the nose, they cut them off the hands, they throw them out for the windows, and the tongue even. They cut the tongue for a lot of people. It was terrible, you couldn't believe it.
People you knew?
I didn't know the people, I was there, but they said the Jewish people.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jewish people couldn't go no places. And after they said, but they vented all the houses, to see the people, and they killed from all, terrible for all the people.
And these were Germans or Romanians? These were Romanians?
No, the Romanians. Dort is ook do plenty anti-Semitism. So he took me. We ran away from the house. We was afraid to stay in the house. And in the night, Gedalia took me, and he took me to, he had a very good friend, Christian. We should hide, we shouldn't get killed. So he went to the house, he knocked on the door, it was 4 o'clock in the night. And he knocked at the windows, and he called the guy, his friend. He told him, please hide me, but he's afraid he shouldn't kill him. He said, Gedalia, I'll do anything for you, but they said in case they find Jewish people hiding in them, they kill the whole family, theirs. So they were afraid. So Gedalia begged them, please put me wherever you want, please hide me with my wife. So we went in a basement, and there was a lot of empty boxes. We were there in the side, and he threw all the boxes of us. In case people come to see, nobody's there. So somebody saw we came there, and they told somebody as he had
Jews.
A couple. So the two soldiers came, and they said to the guy, "Give me the Jews, we're not to kill your whole family." He said, "I don't have nobody." He said, "Somebody told me you have, and I kill you with the family." So the guy came to Beit Gedalia, please come out, well, they won't kill us. First, he didn't want to go, but then we came out. And we came out from the basement, and they asked us to pick up our hands, me and Gedalia, and they had the bayonets to kill us. So Gedalia had not too much money, he had a few dollars, Romanian, but he had a lot of receipts. He put in the receipts in the middle and the money in the top, and he said, "I give you this, please don't kill us." So they took the money, they thought they have I don't know how much money, and they said run away, but somebody else is going to come, and they're going to kill you. So we ran away, and they ran away, and we had an uncle, he also had a big store, he was a rabbi, and he had 2 sons. So they took out the rabbi with the 2 sons, and they asked him which son he likes better. He said, he likes both sons. Whose son you like better? So he said, I like them. So he killed first that guy, and then he killed the other son, and then he killed the uncle. There was summer.
Just on the street, just.
Yeah, and they were living there for 5 days. The heat was terrible. And, flies, they were out.
Oh, wait, where were you? The body? And the bodies were on the street for 5 days?
Yeah. And then Gedalia ran away, and, it wasn't a Friday. They said, now it's quiet. No soldiers come anymore, so we could go home for Shabbos.
But where were you for when you left?
In the woods.
You ran to the woods?
We ran to the woods. No, the whole Jewish people. We didn't have water, we didn't have toilets, we didn't have food, but it was 2 weeks. We ran, of different places. And a Friday they said it's not quiet, we could come home. We came home to my mother-in-law, so we didn't have anything. Everything they took out. She just had a box with eggs. It was about 24 dozen eggs. And she put it in the stove. We didn't even have pots, we had to cook the eggs. And she baked the eggs. This was the meal we should have for Friday night and Shabbos. So we came home to put on the lights, for Shabbos. The men went to daven, how much he was still alive. And 2 soldiers came in our house. I was there in my mother-in-law's house, and there was an aunt, another, they had store. They were very rich people, the Schechters. And she had $100,000 hidden by herself. When they know who she is or when, nobody knows. They came in, it was Shabbos already, and they went to, I was sitting like this, my aunt was here, and she had a boyfriend 3 years, in her lab, and the soldiers came and asked him, give me the money that you have, and not to kill you. She said she doesn't have. They shot her and in the neck.
In front of, you saw it?
Yeah, near me. And when she was already, the bullet was in her, she hugged the child and kissed him. The whole blood, was running of the child of the suit. You could see, how the blood was running, and he had to go like this. The matter was, her name was Toby too. So Gedalia heard because he thought they killed me. He was in the woods. And the next few days, we went to the woods and we looked for the people. And he saw me, he almost fainted. He said, Toby, I heard they killed you. I said, Tante Toby, not me.
Did they get the money?
They didn't get the money. And then it was already Sunday, we didn't have anything, so we went to Suchava. They have relatives.
In the woods, you walked?
No, we went, I don't know how we went. We went to Suchava from Kobanesh. And we we were there, a few families in the house. And Gedalia went davening, and the mayor für Kovanest is still on. The mayor from Kovanest saw Gedalia, he told them, Gedalia, go to the primary, and you're gonna, you tell them what they took away from you, and you're gonna, you're gonna get them worse. You know, they're gonna pay back whatever they took from them.
Who's going to pay back? The government? The soldiers?
Yeah,
Okay.
not the soldiers, the city.
Okay.
So Gedalia didn't know from anything. He came from the davening. He went there and they arrested him. They did with all the Jewish people like this. They saw them walking, they told them they should go there to tell them what they took away, and they arrested him and they put him in a room. For 2 days I went to him, and they said they're going to take him away and they're going to kill the people. So I came and we said goodbye to each other. We think this is the last thing we see each other. They took him away, they put him in a truck, not him, a lot of Jewish people. And it was 4 soldiers with bayonets, you know, on all 4 sides, they shouldn't run away. And they went with them and they put him in a lager, you know, and
In prison.
yeah, they, you know.
Okay. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, we're back. So you said they took Gedalia into a prison in a lager.
Yes. Everybody knew they're going to kill the people, you know, they're not going to survive. So I wasn't coming out, I was pregnant, but I didn't know I'm pregnant. I was sick, I was vomiting. But, you know, my mother-in-law, she was there also with me and her old children. She had 8 children.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to go every morning in the market to buy something to eat. There was nothing, you know, to eat. So every morning she went something to, maybe she's going to find something to eat. The first time she came, first she said Tobola has to have the first food is for her. Mm-hmm. Nobody touch anything until I'm eating. She loved me very much. She was such a wonderful woman.
Did you have to wear stars already? Or?
Deze nog niet. Deze nog niet geweest in the ghetto.
Okay, so you weren't in the ghetto yet. You were still.
I was still in communist. You know, and I was there, and my mother-in-law, she sold the house, and she gave me a part. Gedalia wasn't alive anymore.
So wait, they took Gedalia away in the truck and you never saw him?
No, he took Gedalia away, but then he came back. This was after the war. When I went to look for him, you know. And my brother knew I was by my mother-in-law, so he came, he ran away from the army. You know, when they catch him, they kill him right away. He was deserting the army. So he came to my mother-in-law, he took me home to my mother. It was Tisha B'Av. 1940, yeah.
Still 1940?
Yeah.
1941?
1941 I had the baby.
And Gedalia was...
I was pregnant, he was home already. But Burach bring me home. And, you know, when I came home, all the people said, you know, look, she's pregnant already, and they killed already Gedalia, such a young girl, you know, no husband, no... And I wrote him, you know, letters, he didn't get it. He didn't know I was pregnant. And then I was home, I didn't have my jewelry, they took they hide it. So I put in something, just to put in like a married thing. I took I made like a ring something. I should, I should have it of my finger. And I went with the girl, she said, why do you have to wear the thing? Gedal is not alive anymore. You're not married. So I said I want to wear it anyway. So I was home a few weeks. He was 6 months away. And then he came home, and we were already occupied for the Hungarian.
Mm-hmm.
They came in. We were Romanian. They came in 1940. They occupied our place. And they said whoever wasn't, when the Germans came in, has to go, doesn't belong already, like Gedaliah came after, he had to go back already to the other side, to Romania.
And where was, when they sent him away, he was in prison, he was in a camp,
prison.
he was
No,
working?
he was not in prison, he didn't work. I don't know what he did. He was in a lager, like in Auschwitz.
Mm-hmm. Do you know which one? You don't know the name?
No. And I went in the street. It was, I was, you could tell already I'm pregnant. And I walk in the street and I see Gedaliah. He came like this and I went like this. I couldn't believe it, He didn't know I'm pregnant. Oh, when he saw me, you couldn't believe it, what Simcha we had. But now we had aggravation, he wasn't here when the Germans are there, and he's not going to be able to stay with me. Or I have to go with him, or, he couldn't stay. So Burach, he went, he bought presents, and he went all over to the heads. They should put him in, he was there before the Hungarian came in. But it cost a lot of money to do that.
Where did he have money from at that point?
They had, the grandmother gave him, I don't know. And they put him in, as he was here when the Hungarian came in. So it was all right. When we done put him in, he would live now. But he was, registered, he was there, so they took him to Munketaber. Mm-hmm. Then he's not written in, they couldn't find him. He would be,
Where's Munketaber? Munketaber?
In Munketaber.
What is Munketaber?
This is hard work. They took away all the men, young men, like from 20 or 18 until 40 or 50. They took in to work. They sent them to Russia. They sent them off a lot of places. They was working there. Mm-hmm. He went away, in January. They called him, so he went away. I was pregnant a second time.
So 1941 January, or 1942?
No, this is I had the baby. No, this was 1941, I had the baby in March, 1941. Mm-hmm. To the 11th month.
Do you know the day? You remember the day in March?
Yeah.
March what?
March 17.
17. On March 14.
Yeah, so Yankees also. And
the name?
The name was Hamlai. Then the uncle what he killed, his name and a son's, the older son. He asked the Rebbe, well, my father had names already, So he said you should give a name after, he was a großer tzaddik, their uncle. You should give a name after him.
So who was the Rav in Middle Vishva? Who was the
He didn't have a Rav, he had just a shoychet.
So who, you just had a shoychet, but where was the nearest Rav? In Obervishva?
Yeah.
What did that, was it Vishnitz Rav? What kind of?
Vishnitz.
So you were Hasidah, you were Vishnitz.
Yeah, sure. So when I came home from the Bukovina, the Rebbe, the Mendele, called me. I should tell him the story how they killed my uncle. I went there and I spoke with him, and we were in the garden. And when I had the baby, he was very sick. And I went to the doctors, they couldn't help him, and he got diarrhea, very bad. Whatever he ate, every minute he came out, and he was like skin and bones. So I went to Sighet, to the big city, and there I was Baroshi's mother.
Tante Roshi.
He went with Roshi. So I went to her mother, and I was there for a few weeks with the baby. He was very sick. So they called doctors, they came, they said, this child is not going to live. He was just skin and bones. But Roshi's mother told somebody to call one doctor. He was an old doctor already. And as this doctor couldn't help him, so it's no, So the doctor came, he saw the baby, couldn't believe it, that he's still alive. And he gave him a medicine. I gave him the first medicine, the next day the baby went out, and it was regular, not watery.
What was wrong? Do you know
They gave him the medicine, it helped him. When not the doctor, the baby wouldn't be alive.
What was the name of the Rav? Mendel, you said?
Mendel, this is the Rebbe, the Mendel, the Vishnitz Rebbe.
Oh, okay. When things started to get very bad for the Jews, did the Rebbe say leave? Did the Rebbe say stay? Did the Rebbe say...
I don't think the Rebbe was alive even.
At that point, no, but earlier, like in 1939.
They didn't say to go away, no.
And why didn't anyone think to leave? Why?
But they didn't think that this is going to happen to us. Mm-hmm. They said, he's so religious people. We davened the whole day, they didn't work, we went in the shul the whole day.
So Hashem would protect?
Yeah, okay. No. Polish Eden, they said they're no good. The woman went with the hair. A lot of women ran away from Poland and they had children. So big boys went to the station and they saw, the woman with the children. They came and he said, the girls have babies. They wasn't covered the hair. They thought they're still girls. Well, by us, it wasn't like this. A girl got married, she covered the hair or a sheitel or a hat or something. And they came and said, you see, girls have, in Poland, they have babies.
So that's why it's happening. Hashem is...
Yeah, they're not from. But by us, no problem.
But you dressed like a boy once.
This is a mitzvah while I worked for poor people.
So in a play?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I wasn't a boy when I worked. I was still a girl.
I'm sorry. Tell me about the midgets.
The midgets. I was 60 years old, Hershey. We went to the Vishwas to see the midgets. So they was married. They have big husbands. Regular, there are little things, and every husband brought in his wife, they put him down on the floor like a baby, and they used to sing, they used to play. And there was a motala, a little thing. I was in the first row, so he asked me maybe I could go out with him. I was laughing, you know. I was so embarrassed.
Were they religious, that family?
No.
Or no. And they came from, where'd they come from?
Brzavlja.
From Zadie's town?
Yeah.
So Zadie, did you know Zadie before the war? Or?
No. Nobody knew him. He was in the Vishvis, he was learning there. But I don't know. And
Okay, so you said you were in Sigit, your baby got well, the
yeah,
medicine?
Yeah.
And
And I came home and I was a gorgeous baby. He used to play in the high shach. The pieces, you know.
Puzzle. Puzzle?
No. Shach is, to do a king, a queen, and
Chess.
chess. My son played, he was 3 years old. He played in chess. He won my brother.
I'm listening to me.
He was something you could.
He lives here.
A beautiful
Eat here.
child.
No.
And then
And Gedalia was there.
Gedalia was with me.
And
Yeah.
you-
No, Gedalia went away and
To go to the bar by a daughter and give you the
what
money.
then and the cheer.
What's the give the money?
1922, I think.
42.
42 or 41, I don't know. He called them and he went away. I was pregnant already with the second child, and he forgot his gloves. And I ran after him to give him, it was very cold, it was snow. It was in February. And I gave him the gloves and he went away. And a few weeks after, he was dead.
How did you know?
I didn't know the whole time, you know. A lot of people got telegrams. They said, or they don't know where he is, or they're dead. I didn't get anything, so I was sure he's alive.
Mm-hmm.
And after the war, I met a friend of mine, he was with him. So I was crying, you know, Gedalia, my husband is dead. He said, your husband is not dead, Gedalia is dead. You're going to have another husband, he told me. You know, he said, I thought my husband, but you know, not your husband, Gedalia is dead.
Do you know how Gedalia died? Did he tell? Was
He
somebody?
was typhus. He's in a place with 35,000 people in one grave.
In the Ukraine somewhere.
In Russia.
In Russia.
Yeah.
I was there too.
In Russia?
Yeah.
A
He
year.
was in Kiev.
What were you doing in Kiev? I didn't know you were in.
He was working. You know, they called him too.
Zadie, you should come. You should come talk.
There we have to cut down the hedges because the trains used to go to the front. The German genommen our cut down the hedges.
Zadie, can
You
you
should see it where the train.
can you come here or you're there? Can you come sit?
No, I have to go to shul.
Shul in an hour. In an hour, shul. So Kim.
Leva się nun halben für Auschwitz, you know, well, you're not going to come another time.
No, I'm going to come another time, but we're here. You know.
Yeah, I'm here.
He's not going to come now.
Yeah, give me here.
So, how did you stay in February? I lived in Europe. It was freezing. I had gloves and boots and jackets and coats.
So,
how did you stay warm before the war? How did you stay?
We didn't have any steam. We didn't have water in the house. We didn't have a toilet in the house. Whenever you have to go, or was raining or snowing, you had to go, you went. And we had to, you know, to schlep water to wash clothes. We didn't have washing machines like here.
Oh, wait, Zadie, I'm going to move you next to Bobby.
Laat ik hem doen, it's good.
Oh yeah, Kim. Kim, do.
Such a shiny Seite kann einer haben.
I love my Zadie.
Oh ja, das ist
You okay? You're in the chair?
Yeah. Does he have to take in the pail?
Natalie, give me a
No, that's
Oh,
garbage.
here, Bobby, here. Please.
You didn't do it.
You want to hold?
No.
Okay. So wait, Zadie, you said you were in Kiev?
Waterbekie, Bryansk, we noch far. But we had very good commandant, very good. And der hat uns mehr gescheunt, you watch it. Yeah.
A jeden ist die.
Dann came a Gesetz, we have to live out, changing. So they sent me home. I was home. So come down the ghettos. I have to go to the ghetto. But the ghetto to Auschwitz.
Ja, ja.
You have to do the Auschwitz. The Auschwitz, the same as the labor. We have to make the
For airplanes. No,
need to make the holes, for the airplanes. Soon they fly, sie hat auch geschossen. Haben sie gemacht, I have to make
holes.
Holes.
Yes, a lot of Fliegerdaten. Nehmen the slime in like of a selche. En dort gemacht tiefe holes. That's we doing. Bis to the end. But then that she went nun the Russian. Haben sie geschickt auf Mauthausen. Hast du gehört Mauthausen?
You were in Mauthausen?
Mauthausen auch for a while.
I was in Mauthausen. I visited.
You was in Mauthausen too.
Yeah, in Austria. I was all over.
Mauthausen,
So Mauthausen, you were with the rocks? You were breaking rock and
yeah, in Mauthausen they sent us to Eemsee. Eemsee, das war ein größer Lager. Then we were there. And during the day, so from wir gehen, day from we to go arbeiten. And like this, sometimes came in the airplanes, the American airplanes. In the Deutschen, also gehört, als came there, haben sie gewollt schießen. They send
The bomb?
Bam.
They came down I was outside to clean up the quilts here. Was outside with anderen.
There was 500 people there.
Yeah. Then, also haben sie geheißen, sind wir raufgegangen. I figure, I'm going up. So I'm going up. The airplane came dahinter. I'm saying, yeah, en ze geworfen, die Bombe ist dort ping, wie haben nach oben gegangen. They threw bombs there.
Where the people were.
Yeah, they thought it's Germans. They didn't know
Das ist German. Bin herumgelaufen. Die alle Fans, was in Schock und die haben
gecleaned
die Kappe, sind alle dead. Bin die airplanes.
They were all dead. The bombs.
Bin die bombs.
Yeah.
So you saw your friends just
friends and died.
all pieces.
Yeah, all the people that was working with me is dead.
So how many people survived? Just you, or?
No, there was a lot. Maybe I see something in the paper. Ebense. And then I came to American. I'm machine going saved. after the American came in.
Everything finished by the end.
The Americans came, but you were in Mauthausen when the Americans?
Ik ben Eemzee. Dus de laatste lagen, Eemzee.
Yeah.
En we ben er schon wenig safe.
Saved by the Americans.
Yeah. Ja, wie ben er after this? I'm toch weer in de reserve ook, after de... Hij was in de reserve. After de bevrijding. En wie ben in de reserve?
Voor de zouden dus een keer meer gassen nog.
Ik ben de tante Toby Ephraim. Yeah, no.
Wait, from Azavia you got married? No.
He came to Germany. I was in Germany.
Where were you in Germany? You were in
In Terschenreuth.
Terschenreuth. I was in Terschenreuth also.
I don't believe it.
Yes, I had a friend. Yes, I have pictures from Terschenreuth.
Terschenreuth I was a long time. And in Schwandorf,
Regensburg? I was in
and Mendigen.
This is all but
Franken am Main.
Frankfurt am Main.
In Berlin I was.
Prague you were?
But
in Prague,
this is where I came from. In Prague there is geweest by the Schiel, so severe with cedars. Ze dus geweest alles verbrennen, but you know it's it was raining, it's snowing.
So wait, we're jumping.
No.
So go back. So your children, your child, you're pregnant, your son got better.
Yes, got better, and I didn't know he's dead. But I didn't get anything. Not his.
You didn't hear anything.
Where it is, but he's dead. So he's alive. And then we went to the ghetto.
Which ghetto?
In the Vishwas.
In the Vishwas, okay.
In the Vishwas ghetto. They came Friday, when we gemacht the children, kegel, for Shabbos prepared, mit nicht gewiss und gut nicht. So 2 soldiers came in, and they said, and they gave us 5 minutes to take what we could, and we should go with them. So my baby had fever. And I begged them, please let me stay with my baby home, and when you're going to take the people to the ghetto, I'm going to go with you. So he hit me. He said, nobody stays in the house. They took us to the shul. And we were there a whole Shabbos. We didn't have any food, but everything was in the house. And Sunday, they came carriages, and they put it on there, and they took us to the ghetto. In the ghetto, we were, I think, 2 months.
This is in the Vishwas?
In the Vishwas. There is given by a friend, by my mother's a friend, is given, she was living there, but they went by 5 families, they put us there. We didn't have where to stay, we sat on the floor, a little floor, every family was there, and we had to go every day for Zeilapel, and then we said, they should count us.
And food?
We did have, I don't know from people we had, not too much, but so given some. And I had jewelry. I put it, before I came to the ghetto, I put it in a thing, and I threw it, and we had for wood, a big house. And I threw the jewelry under this. You think, when I come zurückkommen, I'm going to find it. So, we were a few times, I put it in the ghetto, so a friend came to me and he said, Toby, I know you had the jewelry, come and take you home and take it in case you need for a bread, for a kid have something to buy. You have the jewelry, you're gonna, I'm gonna give the jewelry, they're gonna give us to eat. So I went home and I took the whole jewelry. And we were there a few weeks. And then there, Burach was also there, my brother, and he had a girl, she was a rich girl, the father had a very big store at the Wishes. And she said to Burach, in case I have some jewelry, they have a cellar and they have a place like in the wall.
There's a theater, yeah.
Yes, he did. It's closed, Sadie. It's closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The jewelry was
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, the jewelry.
so I took the jewelry home and she said we should give the jewelry for her, and she asked Burach to go with her in the place where she put it. In case she doesn't come back, he's gonna be very. They had a lot of pangas, and they put away in the earth. And I took the jewelry. Burach didn't want to go to see. He said, in case somebody's gonna take it, they're gonna take. He took it, and he didn't want to be responsible as the jewelry is not there. So he didn't want to go to see where she put the jewelry. Mm-hmm. But she put it in the walls. Nobody could see, the place. And I saw it in the ghetto, in the Auschwitz. So I asked her, maybe you could tell me where you put the jewelry. Nobody knows who's going to come. I should be able to take the jewelry. She said she couldn't tell. She was afraid, but she didn't come back. She was dead, and the people came, maybe 100 people, went to look and nobody found the jewelry. And we have to break in the house, then you're going to find it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people went there. So they do a lot of jewelry. Find it.
So you were in the ghetto for 2 months?
Yeah, and then they took us to Auschwitz.
So wait, was the ghetto Transnistria, or is that...
What?
Was is Transnistria?
Transnistria is gewesen, Moshe, das ist in der Bukowen.
And you were...
No, I wasn't there. Moshe doch gewesen, he wasn't in a ghetto, they took him to... They didn't kill people there. They just died for hunger in for cold weather. Mm-hmm. But then we came to Auschwitz. Mm-hmm. You see, when we came to Auschwitz, first, when we went to the station, to the train, so they looked all over to find maybe we hide some jewelry.
These are Nazis or Romanians?
No, the Nazis. So we went to the train.
Where did they say you were going? What did they say?
They said we're going to go. The old ladies are going to watch the children, and we're going to go to work, the young people. So we didn't think it's going to be different. So we went on the train. You
didn't hear any stories before? I mean...
We heard this, I told you. They said it's not going to happen. Okay. And it was always, it's not going to happen to us. Mm-hmm. So we was by 120 people in a car. It's like for the open car, by the trains. Mm-hmm. They put us in, we didn't have water. We didn't have food. We came in the place. Do
you know the day? The date, like the month or the day that you went?
Yeah, in May we went. Mm-hmm. And
that's Jan. Jan's doing something.
Where am I? So where am I?
Oh, in May you went. So you were on the
we
train
went, you know, we are in the train
for how many days?
5 days. No water, no food, no toilet, and 120 people. We were like sardines. You know, you couldn't move around.
And what, you had 2 children? You had
I know one is in the heim. I had a son, the 8 months. And I'm gegangen gedagen, then I catched a cold and I lost the baby.
Oh, okay. It's the second baby you never had.
But when they were going in the train, for the 5 days, we had a little, like this, a little window, nothing else. And the 5th day that we came to Auschwitz already, they opened the door, you know, the doors to came out.
Wait, on the train, your son, I mean, like, no food, there was...
No, you know, no, I tell you, not a toilet affair. You had to do everything, the men and women, old, young. A lot of people died there.
And they didn't take the bodies out?
We went for 5 days, we didn't open the thing.
So
For 5 days.
where did they put the bodies you just
They didn't-
left, or...?
They were there, wherever it was there, they were there. Who came up from the train, and then after they took them out. And then we were in Auschwitz already, we opened the door, we were so happy, you know, we see a little light. And they said we should go in 5 in a line. So my brother Bura was like here, I was here, my mother near me, my grandmother, the Taten's mother was next, and then our tante, she had 9 children, she was next, you know, but the 5 people. And I hold my baby, and a couple came and he told me, give away the kind for an old lady. Give away your child for an old lady. So I told the Buddha, go ask him, why should I give away my child? Buddha wants to see him. He disappeared, you couldn't see him. Like,
The capo.
The capo. A second man came and he told me the same thing. Give away the skin for an old lady. The Buddha, go ask him, he disappeared to no man. So I wasn't too far from England. And I gave the baby to my mother. And I was just by England, he put me on the right side, Burach on the right side. And my mother made the baby, he put it on the left side. And my baby stretched his hand and he was crying, Bobby, I want to go with you, I don't want to stay with Bobby. And he was crying for it. So I wanted to go back. I should see, to the baby, he disappeared and I never saw him again. Then we came to the crematorium, we take beds. They took us in, all of them, and they said, you know, all the things that we have, we should put in one place, we should know where it is. When we came out, we could be dressed, you know, to dress. And everything we should put there, in one place. And everybody, they guess we should undress naked. And there is going soldiers, men, in capos. So how could you, undress yourself? So we didn't want to do it, so they started to hit us. And it was, we couldn't help it, and we started to undress. And then somebody was there and they cut all the hair from the whole body. You had to go with the hands in the high and whatever. A man did this, not like ladies. And then we went in and take a shower. There we saw, it was it was a very big room. It was 2 heads for shower. From one head it came the gas, and from one head it came water. Whatever they give you, you said the water, we take the shower, even the soap, they didn't let us have a piece of soap. Well, people put in, things in the soap, and they didn't want we should have it. So, and there is given, women, they needed something to protect, for, they couldn't get anything. And for a short lady, they give a long dress. For a tall lady, they give you a dress like this, special. And no, nothing in the head. For myself, you didn't cut my hair, but I didn't have any hair.
Because you were wearing your head was covered. You shaved.
No. I shaved the hair like, I didn't have any hair, nothing. So I had little hairs. They didn't do anything for me. But the other, they had a big hair. They shaved them.
So you didn't have hair because you were married. You kept your hair.
That's right. And then when we came, to the barracks, they said we should take wherever. It was in the barrack. It was 3 layers. You saw them.
Yes.
I almost went to the top. But in the bottom, but hinten, they broke, and the people got killed or broken hands, feet, I don't know, but I always was at the top.
When did you get a number?
Later. And then we went to sleep. We slept 12 girls in one thing. 10 girls was like this, and 2 girls by the feet, in the land. So dead people were then going by the feet. They have a terrible thing, but in sleep, you don't. But we had to change. Mm-hmm. Not always, It was raining inside, and everything got wet. The covers. We had to sleep in the wet things.
Who were you with? Who did you know that you were with?
I was,
Everyone that came with you. I mean,
everybody, they had families, and everybody went with their family.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't tell you where who should you have. Everybody, 10 girls and 2. These are like friends, or sisters, or cousins. I had their Edith was with me. And, we were 3 days before Shavuos, we came there. And they gave us every day a piece of bread.
In 1942?
No, that's in 1944.
1944, okay.
They gave us a piece of, one bread for 5 girls. But the bread was like dust. Then you ate it, you think you have dust in the mouth. And I didn't want to eat my bread. Everybody who got the bread right away did. They were hungry. I was hungry too. But I put my bread in, in the bosom, and I said, I know I have bread, I'm not hungry. Then I'm not gonna have, I'm gonna think I'm hungry. So I went with a lot, I had a lot of things, but I didn't eat. I was crying a lot. I wanted to see my baby. Every morning the SS came and asked who was sick or who was pregnant. They're going to take him to the revier to make him better. And who didn't, a lot of people came naked. They didn't have clothes for them. They just walked naked in the place. And I wanted to tell him, I told Edith I'm going to tell him I'm pregnant and I'm going to see my baby. She said, Toby, I don't let you. You don't go no place. Don't tell him. And don't tell him you're sick. You stay with me. So I don't know who is alive, but I have you. I wanna have you. I don't want you should go. So I didn't.
In addition to the bread, you got soup also?
Nothing. Later they gave us soup. They gave us water with peels from potatoes. And then they made the soup no salt. Mm-hmm. It was horrible.
But what do you have the soup in? You had a bowl?
No, they give, we have a bowl, I'm going to tell you später vad vi det med det var. And every morning we had to go sail appel, you know, to count us. It was 32,000 girls in one place. There are 32 barracks, and each barrack was 1,000 girls, you know. It was two houses. One was for water, and one was for toilets. They had 450 toilets in one place. But they didn't let you go where you wanted, just when they let you go. And water, they have just faucets, like 440 faucets. And Edith used to go every single day to wash. I was lazy, I didn't want to go. I said, I have, you know, it's cold. She said, you have to come, you're going to be all right. And she slapped me, I went with her. So we opened the faucets, we put the hand, you know, we wanted to bring the water to the face. Icicles was already, so cold was there. Then we washed, you know, the face and the hands and the hand, and it's going a shower.
Could you drink that water, or you couldn't drink the...
No, I don't think we drink. We didn't have what to drink.
Mhm.
And später, 3 months I was there, and the sail lager.
But during the day, what did...
Nothing, we didn't do anything. 3 months we didn't do anything.
Just wake up, uphill...
They didn't let you go outside. Well, used to come every day, used to come trains, and they didn't want to see what they do with the people. So they hold us in the barrack. We're not allowed to go out. Mm-hmm. Just at the sail appel, and the other, you had to stay inside. And yeah. And one time they can't, you know, the sail appel, and one girl was missing. They count us maybe 10 times a day. But they went like Michigan, they came, they were so angry, they thought somebody ran away, you're going to tell what they do in the lager. So they used to count us and count, and the girl wasn't there for 3 days. The third day, everybody was there. So the girl fell asleep. Outside there is given furniture, some benches with tables, and she went under this and she fell asleep for 3 days. She didn't wake up. And the 4th day she came to the sail appel, and they asked who that girl, you know, who was missing. I don't know whether she came out, and they gave her a salami like this, in a whole bread. She should eat how much she wants. We were hungry, like, you know, just to look for the thing. It was, and she ate, and we were so, you know, envious. She has a whole salami with a bread, you know, it's like when you have, I don't know, but diamonds or something, couldn't be so happy. And after she ate, they took her and they hanged her. And we had to be there to see how they hang, you know, they strangled. They said whoever is going to do something like that, this is, you know, this is the reward.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had to stay a lot of times. They put us, you know, to kneel.
Mm-hmm.
And they put, you know, rocks under the knees. We had to stay on this, and 2 big rocks in the hand, like this, how long they wanted we should stay. And we made it, you know, I don't know, you know. And a lot of people, they had enough. They went to the electricity. They put out a hand. And in 5 minutes, she was schwarz. She was laying finished. The electric,
Defense.
they killed themselves. One girl was in Tisha B'Av, and we were a few girls who fast. Not everybody was fasting. So this girl found that handkerchief, and she washed it, and she put it, to dry. She put it in a wire. Until this wire you could go. When you go a little more, you had, you killed yourself. So the wind threw away the handkerchief, and she went to take the handkerchief, and she was dead in a few minutes. She was fasting.
Now, did you daven when you were there, or did you?
We didn't have a seder, how much we know by heart. But we knew, when it's Tisha B'Av or your holidays. After the 3 months, they took us out, and they said whoever knows how to sew should put on the hand. They want to make a sewing for the soldiers, right? So Edith was, she could sew. I didn't know how to sew. So she told me I should go there too. I said I couldn't, I'm afraid. In case I thought they gonna ask me how to measure the dress, how to cut it, and I don't know nothing. They're gonna kill me anyway. So she said, you come with me. Then I Edith, I wouldn't survive. She took me wherever she was. And but then we went to, they didn't ask not to cut pieces. We had to fix soldiers' clothes. Buttons and where it was. This is going to sew. And we were there, about 9 months. We were sewing.
Also in the same, like near where your barack?
In the place. It was one barack. They made, all the things for the dead people. They had the clothes, and we had to separate everything. To dresses, separate blouses, coat, and we found money there and jewelry, and the
seams and the
seams. I had, so much jewelry I found, and a few dollars, $10, $20. And I was stupid. I tell the people, Aunt, I found this, Aunt, I found that. I have a code, and I put in the things in the code. And I signed them they took it away. And I was with nothing. What is this?
snow.
Oh my God.
Look at Toby.
You see, and they took away the jewelry. I couldn't tell nobody, but
Who the Jews took it, not the Nazis.
No, the people were
okay.
working. We worked on a table, 12 people. There was a mother, she had a daughter for 18 years. We sit by the same table to sew. She came, and one day she came, her hair was white, like, you couldn't believe she had one black hair in the head. Overnight she got so white. And the mother was pregnant, nobody knows. We went every 4 weeks to take a bath. And we never took her to look or something. She had a baby. And the girl in January 18, first we went every 4 weeks to make a shower. In the crematorium. Every time we looked in the back to see if we said, we're going to come back or we're going to stay there. So we came back, and one time, 6 months, So we were there, we didn't know the people are dead or these burned people or whatever they do with them. But we saw the fire, you know, from the crematoriums until the sky. And they smelled the, you know, the meat, like, you know, from the people, like, you know, like, you know, but it was a burnt meat.
Burnt flesh.
Yeah. So, she used to come, she had 7 children, she was a shoichetz, a wife. So she had 7 children, and she came every single day and she told me, Toby, don't cry. I heard the German people give the children milk, white bread, they give them chicken soup, they have that, you know, very good. So I was happy, you know, she said. So then we went every 4 weeks to take the shower. There was also the man used to clean the capos. So she said to me, she said, Toby, I go to ask the people, and the old people and the children come to take a shower. So I said, how could you go? You're naked. There is man. So I said, I don't care. I want to know where my children are. So she went, I went too. And we go near to the, you know, there, and we ask him, you could tell me when old people come here with children to take a shower? They were laughing, you couldn't believe it. He said, you're Hungarian stupid. You don't know what your children, the day you came, was burned and your parents too. So we said it couldn't be. Now it's 44, not 1942 or 1941. Now you don't do that. So while you see the fire, while you smell, you know, he said, you know, old people die. They don't want to make him graves. They put him in the crematorium. But healthy people or children, why should you kill? We couldn't take this in the mind. And then we know already what happened. Every night used to come transport, and they didn't let the souls. And, you know, one time we had near, this was ABC, they had the lagers. We were in C 3 months, and then in the B was a family with Tsiganers. You know,
gypsies.
Gypsies. But they had men, women, children. They were, you know, they was there. For 3 months we saw them there. So I thought, they are living, our children are the same thing. But one day and one night we hear screaming terrible. And he took up all the gypsies and he took them to the crematorium. And the next day we went to take a bath and they put it in that, in the B, you know, in the lager B. So we were there until January 18. January 18, they came and they went to.
You know what? Hold on 1 second. I'm going to put another tape in.
Okay.
Okay, so January 18th.
January 18, we had to march.
Oh, wait, before. Number.
I have it here.
No, when did...
You see this here?
Okay, wait, hold on. It's, let me just come right in here. So A10598.
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you get that?
This I get when I was there. After about 4 months I was there.
Okay, so...
He wants to go.
Okay. So 4 months. They just everybody in your
In our lager, in this barrack was everyone there.
and everybody who worked got a number. Because
Just everybody, Zadie doesn't have, and a lot of people doesn't have.
why not? Why doesn't Zadie have?
They didn't say.
Okay.
So when I get that number, I used to sing in the lager. I had a beautiful voice. I used to sing, and a German came in, and he asked me I should sing for him. First I didn't want to do it, so the cop said, you do it and sing. And then he made me the number. He told me, no, now you could sing. I had such a pace, it was swollen, the heart, and bloody, you know. I said, no, I couldn't sing, no. Mm-hmm. And then we went out, he gave us a blanket, they gave us a bread and a can of meat. They came from America, the meat. It was treifmeslam, I'm sure. And this we got, for the way.
Oh, so January 18th.
Yeah, so we walked a whole day.
Why were you walking? What did they say?
They took us away, but the Russian came, they wanted to liberate us, and they didn't want we should tell them what they did, so they took us away deeper in Germany. We went away from, and we saw so many people dead in the sites with the walk. It was a very big snow, frozen people. And
How many people went with you? I mean, in your group?
The whole lager.
Thousands? I mean.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. We went out by 1,000 people. We come maybe a few hundred. But the people couldn't walk too good, and they gave us 5 minutes. We should rest. We sat down, and after the 5 minutes, when they said get up, we had to be straight on the feet. And who didn't get up, they shoot them there. They didn't want any people to, alive people, they maybe, they're gonna tell what they did for the Germans.
And wait, did you have shoes? Did they give you shoes in the camp?
They give shoes, but it was wooden shoes. And the wood doesn't bend. We had to go, as though, look.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't go like, and a lot of people took off the shoes. They left them, they went without ticket, the snow. And in the night, we walked the whole day, and the night we found a very big place. It was snow like this. And we said, they pushed it in, there was like in a garden, and we threw away already the blankets. We couldn't carry it, it was too heavy. And the bread and the meat, we didn't throw away. But we came, we didn't have nothing, So we sat down like in a circle, in the snow, and then we sing, this, and we should warm, the sides. And the Germans went away and they left us big dogs, they should watch us. Whenever somebody moved, they killed them right away.
The dogs?
The dogs, yeah. And in the morning we get up, we slept even, in the snow was wet and cold. And who went out, a lot of people was dead. They couldn't take it. So here was a piece of ice here and we left them there and went further.
Friends, people you knew?
No, I didn't know all the people. But I was from the first until the 5th row, I was there. But when you go in the back, you have to keep up. It's worse than you're in the front. You make
The pace.
yeah. So I never went past 5 lines. And we ran in, you know, to the Germans to ask for a piece of bread or something. We had the, you know, soldiers, a lot of soldiers didn't let you do that, but they, you know, they didn't look. And somebody gave us a piece of bread or something. And we walked like this almost 3 weeks.
Every day, just...
Every single day, and in the night we slept outside. And then they gave us later a train.
Did they say where you were going, or they just
No,
said
they
they just
didn't
said go?
say. We didn't have to say anything. We weren't some people. They didn't call you by the name, just by the number. You didn't have even your name. And when we, you know, we came to Ravensbrück, and there was a lager with a lot of people, and we came there, the snow was so high, and we didn't have room where to go. And we sat outside 3 or 4 days, and we ate the ice, mid-earth. You know, we should have something in the stomach for a few days. And we slept also like this, we made a circle, you know, we should be a little warm. And then a few days later, they found a place already. They made a tent. You know, it was wet, water, with dirt. They put in a tent, and they took up a few hundred people. Went in the tent. Then I have to be, and you know, to go in the tent with Edith, but they said no more room. We have to wait for, they're going to make another tent. So we went back to the place we were sitting, and we were there. And then they came and they said, we should go. There was a tent with Christian girls were there. From Yugoslavia, from, you know, they were, I don't know if I was anywhere. And it was a bed like this, you know, when the soldiers opened the little beds, 2 girls were sleeping there. And when they asked us to go in, so they said, wherever you have place, take it and you're going to have it. So I went always in the top, and I went to 2 shiksas, and Edith on one side, and you know, I was on one side with a shiksa, and Edith and this, by the feet. But they didn't like it. And they couldn't speak anyway, so we had some bread, we gave them, and we said they should go with themselves, you know, and the Yiddish, they should stay 4 Jewish girls. And in the daytime they took us out a little for fresh air, and we had to take the beds was some wood, you know, to hold the mattress. So we had to take the pieces. Matos, we went out, as when we came back, we should have the bed. But now they used to take the bed and they make them for themselves. Not all the beds had, you know, the
pieces under.
Yeah. So we went out with this for a walk. When we came back, we made it, and we have it. And a lot of times they took out, you know, you was in the bed, and they pushed, there you could fall. And there we were 4 weeks. We didn't have food, but we weren't working there. We didn't have where to stay, we didn't have water, we didn't have a toilet. But we were 5 girls, we were working together the whole time. It was like Lagerschwesters. And one girl from Dragomerest, I don't know, you don't know, but something in Europe. So she had a pot, and she went every time that the girls got their supper, she went out and she put in, you know, the thing, some food, and she came around and she gave us to eat. She didn't eat. She got me and Edith, and we didn't have toilets. And this part where we eat, we did everything. And we didn't have water washing. Anyway. You understand how a business?
I understand.
It's not 4 o'clock yet.
What?
Yeah, I know.
There we were 4 weeks, and then somebody came, and she said they took us in another lager.
Also in Ravensbrück.
Rachlin, Retzov, But I was in the Schneiderei with Edith, 5 girls, we were together. And when we started sewing, we were all together. And we was really like sisters, We did everything for each other, how much we could help. And there was the kitchen, there was a kitchen for the soldiers. There was a chef. He cooked for the soldiers, very good food. And they had farina, sweet farina, for supper. And Edith, she was a real, she could sew. She made for the chef, he had 9 children. She made them clothes, dresses, and for the boys, shorts, with blouses. And for them, he gave her food, what they gave for the soldiers, they gave her to eat. So I ate with her. You couldn't believe it was so delicious, the food, with meat. She gave me some chazer and rice. And
but you ate at that point.
We didn't know. We didn't have to,
I understand.
So every morning we had to go to work. They put us there while we worked for the soldiers. And there was lice. You could, like this, you could, from top to the bottom, just lice. Just like this, We saw people there have that. They were skinny, they sit there outside. And we were all right, we didn't lose weight, but we had good food. And even a toothbrush he brought for us. He didn't have this there. But there, Edith, she used to take a shower every morning. What is the shower? The tent,
The water comes.
It was like this. The ice outside, and the house was 1,000 people, so it was warm, and it used to leak water. So she took the water from there. She washed, a shower. I had the same shower.
In winter, in
Sure, winter. This is given January, and February, or March. And we were there 500 girls, and when we came the first night, there was a place for soldiers. It was, with airplanes they used to go. An airfield was there. And they ran away. I don't know why they had to run away, and they left. It was beautiful beds with white,
linen
covering. And they had supper on the table, and they didn't eat it. So we sat down, we ate, and then we went to sleep in the bed. It was a pleasure. And the next time they put it by the kitchen. We slept there in the floors. We had, not madrats like here, but straw,
Straw.
and there I was, I saw border, I took border, I had a stick, and I took potatoes, and I took beets. The guy gave her this coffee. Sweet coffee was delicious. So in that coffee I put in potatoes and vegetables. There was a revier, like a hospital, very sick people. So I came out every time when we went out. We had to go out three places. They had to,
Check.
to check us. But I took the border in the front and in the back. And they, when we came out, they make it like this. So when I did this, Edith said, Toby, they're going to kill you. I don't want to lose you. I don't want you should do it. I said, until I live, I want to help people. When I'm not living, I don't. But I'm going to do it until they catch me. And I went to the revier. I left it of the steps, and they took it in, to cook for them something. And then in the night, they gave us food. What they give the whole place. We had a big can. You have to schlep it. But we didn't need their food. We ate what the chef gave us. So we brought it back, the whole thing, and we gave for the people to eat. Such a big with handler. And Edith used to cry to me, don't do it, Toby, I'm going to lose you. I didn't stop. I did it always. And then later we have to run away from there of a different place. So we saw chicken. We wanted to take chickens to kill them, we should eat, but we couldn't catch them. And then we came to the other place. It was in the night. And
Do you know the name of the other place? Or?
I couldn't remember. There was I don't remember. There was a big, like a house, with they put things, a magazine,
Storage.
a storage, very big place. And they said we should sleep there. We slept on the floor, nothing there, just on the, And in the night we heard, they broke the bridges, they shouldn't come. And in the morning we get up, but the whole thing was shaking when they put in the dynamite, whatever. So we went out and, we should go further. So there was American packages. The American people sent, for the Red Cross. So everybody went in 5, and a few people went out, and in one time the Germans disappeared. They're not there anymore. And we took packages, how much we want, and the Russian came. They ran away. They wanted to take us further, but they couldn't do it. Oh, when the Russian was there, we thought Mashiach is here. You couldn't believe it. And then they said we shouldn't go back to the storage room. Maybe it's they put in dynamite. They should kill us. They sent us. We should go in a forest. We should there stay a whole day, and we're going to see what is going to happen. Then it didn't blow up. We came back there, and we were there a few days.
How many women?
A few hundred. We went out a few thousand, but not too many were alive. And we went to the magazine that there was
Margarine.
Margarine, high life, from the pigs, fat, and we took, we should have to make food, but we didn't have where to live. So we was there a few days, and then they took us to Bramberg. This is in
Germany, no?
In Germany. There was a DP lager already. See, there was a DP lager. And it was Germans, German girls, Italian people, from Yugoslavia, from all over. They came there. And we stood there a few days. And we had food already there. And they said nobody should sleep two people in a bed. The soldiers, the Russian soldiers wanted the girls. They were very mean, And in the night, the Germans, they come to see, they said no two people in a bed. So I used to sleep at Edison. Mm-hmm. So they saw, two heads, they came in to see who's in the, mm-hmm. But there was two girls, so they didn't do anything. And then the girls that used to go, there was dancing, the Italian machen theater, and they used to sing. I was there until they said we got, of this place, when it's going to be 500 people from Romanian, they're going to give us a train straight to Romania, not to stop, just to go. We didn't have anything to do with the Germans, not with the Russian. Mm-hmm. And a few nights we slept in a place where a cow was living. We went upstairs to the hay, and we slept there. We was afraid, for the Russian. And then we went home, and there was a lot of girls. They used to go dancing. The Italian people there sing and dance in the theaters. And the Russians were very jealous, but the people didn't talk with the Russians, just with the Italians. They were beautiful people, very nice looking. And they look like Jews. And the Russian was very angry. Nobody wants to talk to them. First of all, we couldn't talk anyway. And then we came home, and we said until we came to Romania, we never gonna eat treifs again, and we're gonna keep Shabbos while we didn't, and we're going to have like we was before. So we went days and days. We saw beautiful grapes, how they grow. The train stopped, we went up, and we took grapes, we ate. And when we came to Romania, it was an Arad. Oradia, yeah.
Oradia Mare.
Yeah, so we was there for Shabbos. And they had, we slept there and they gave us to eat. But I had a friend in Arad. It was my friend, it was our age, a man, he was married. Had a wife and I don't know, they had children that she knew. And we came, in the morning we brought food for us there. I said, I'm going to eat this food, I'm going to go to my friend, he's going to give me better food. I told Edith, don't eat, we go to them. So we had there a friend, he was a boy, out from Mittelwisch. So I didn't know where Yossel lives, so he took us to them. We came in the morning, and I met some mishpucha from my father's side. They wanted we should go to eat to them, They heard the name, but they didn't know me. So I said, no, I go to my friend, I want to see him, We came there, the door was locked. Maybe they came already from shul or something. They eat, they went to sleep, we sat outside, and that boy said, please come he doesn't come out and you're hungry, you didn't eat anything. And it was Shabbos, you're not allowed to fast.
So I was surprised
So
to see
I
was surprised to see
didn't want to go. Now it's already Abdullah time,
What?
you know?
No, I'm saying,
And he came out, the balabos,
we know your daughter.
and he said the Siddiq, you know, on in the front of the house. Oh, I said, hi, Toby, eat this. So he want to show me the house. I was hungry, I thought I'm gonna die. House like this on the table, you know, Shabbos, and she was dressed, his wife, like a princess.
Were they there during the war? Were they in the
No,
camps?
they
or-
weren't, they weren't nada, they didn't know anything. And I thought, you know, he's gonna say, maybe you wanna eat something. He took me in this room, this room, and this room. I see he doesn't give to eat, he should give me even, I come from Auschwitz, $1. Nothing. So that boy, Burach, he was very angry of that guy, but he was a rich guy. And he said, come, I'm going to take you to a restaurant and you're going to eat there. So he took us there, he paid, and he took us, I couldn't go already to sleep. We told the people, but it was locked already, the place. So I went, met that guy, he took in a hotel a room, and we slept there. In the morning he came and he brought us back to the lager. And when I came, you know, in a station, there was already people, but they come home already from Auschwitz. They saw me, they were so happy, and they said, when the husband comes home, the wife is not there. When the wife comes home, the husband is not there. They thought, they knew Dalia's dead. I didn't know until I was home a few weeks. And then I wear this thing. He said, why you wear it? You're not married anymore. And it started, you know. Then I went to Mittelwäsche. I was there 3 weeks. And I left a lot of stuff by a German family. And I left my pictures, the pictures what I have, this is alles by her. And she wanted very much to take my baby. She said, please leave me your boy here. She knew where we go, but she didn't say. But I said, my boy should eat trays. I couldn't leave him, you know, so I took him. When I leave him there, I would have him. But I got a few, all the things the people, cousins mine took away, but the pictures, they gave me back and I was happy with this. And then I went to the Bukovina to look for Vidalia. I thought he's alive. So I came first to my brother, Moshe. He thought I'm dead.
But your wife sleeps here, no?
Well, the Burach thought also I'm dead. They asked, I came 6 months after when we went free from the Germans, but we waited for the people to
You have heat there?
For the train.
Yeah. So they said, I saw her until they killed
Garage, you
me.
don't have heat?
A girl, my friend. She said, oh, you're Toby, I saw when they
You
killed
don't
me.
know, you don't know it's all.
So you know I'm dead.
It's
And I came and I went to Rosh's house. Burach was there. I didn't know, but I came, I thought maybe she knows something, and I was married and I didn't have nothing of my head. I didn't have what to put on. So I went, I thought maybe she's going to give me something to put on my head. I want to come in the house, and Burach comes out. When he saw me, he was white like, he said, you do it. You know, he couldn't believe it. I'm there, and we were crying. He couldn't believe it. And then I came to Moshe, the same thing. He thought also I'm dead. And when I came to him, he took me in his lab. You know, I was married already. And he kissed me, he was crying, he was like a father for us, but he was the oldest. And then I went to my mother-in-law to look, maybe something. I was there a few weeks. And then Burak came and took me home to my mother. It was Tisha B'Av. And then when Gedalia came back, everybody knew, he's not alive. But
And then how'd you wind up in Germany? I know you met Zadie in Germany. From there you went.
we came back.
Why didn't you stay in
I
Romania?
tell you, I had a cousin. He was in the army. My father's name. There's a first cousin, my father's sister's son. He was a chaplain.
In which army?
And American.
Okay.
He came from America. He was in Tirschenreuth. No, he was in Prachatice. Near Prague, there is a little Prachatice,
Right.
you know?
I've been.
He was there.
I was.
You were in Czechoslovakia.
I lived there for 3 years. Sure. I was in every place you said I've been.
Sit down, give a chair.
It's all right. I sit the whole day.
You know. So,
No, it's all right.
Burak came, no, when we came in the train, he sent a letter, my cousin, in case somebody is from the name is alive.
Number 6.
This is his address, we should write to him. So Burak got the letter, and he came for the Shishuna, he came to Prachatice. He was with Jack together. And after Jack wanted to see me, but he knows me from Romania, from the whole. He wanted very much to see me. So he said Burak should come home and bring me to him. So I came to Prachatice. We came off a train, we didn't have room where to sit in top of the train. In top. Me and Burak, a few people were there. It was already, Yom is cold. I didn't have shoes, I didn't have a coat. I was, just with a dress. And it was cold. So we came a few weeks, we ride there. The train, but it moved very, not too fast. So we came to Prachatice. Burak know where he was living, so we went straight there. So I came in and Burak, she recognized Burak, but Jack used to, he slept with Jack. So she said, Jack just went yesterday to Germany. They changed him. And now I don't have a penny for my life, I don't have nothing, I don't know where to go. What are you going to do now? So we went to, to Prachatice to see maybe we're going to find somebody, they should help us. And I didn't see nobody. So the Goya, but when he was living there, he said, don't go away, but Jack is going to come back, the mail comes here. We were there a few days, and Jack came. He came in the house, and you talk, he kissed me, and and I should tell him who is alive and who's not alive. And he says a few hours, and then he picks up himself and he said, Toby, I have to go. I said, Jack, you took me here, you take me wherever you go. So I'm in Germany, I couldn't take you. We had to pass a few, from Germany to so, Russian...
Checkpoints.
Yeah, I couldn't take you. So there was a guy with him. He said, you're going to take him, you're not going to let him here. I was crying, terrible. Look, you took me here, I finished nothing. Look at me, how can I go? Where shall I go? So
how did you spoke English? How did you talk?
He wasn't from Europe, he was born in Europe. He knew me from there. He came, he was 15 years old, he came to America. And he told me, the guy told him, Burak, make him a soldier. you know, to put them in the soldier. And for me, they have, you know, the army, what is a hood, just the oil, you know, here is for my, put it in a hat like this, in a coat, and when we go there at the port, you tell them they sleep. They had passports, they are American, so we sleep in the bag, and it was very good. He went a few things, and the last port we had to go through, the car was broken. We couldn't go to Germany. Now what am I going to do? So he went to fix the car, there was a lot of soldiers. He was dancing, they had girls there, they were drinking. Jack went in there, and the other guy went in, and you know, other people came, and we were sleeping, not sleeping, you know. He said we should go in there too, you know. They have so much fun, but you know, we were sleeping. Oh, you know, we couldn't go.
So he's upstairs?
And then they fixed the car, and we went to Germany, and I was there. In 1945, I was there back in Tirschenreuth. And there we were staying there, and then Sander came, and he got married, and it was a funny thing with Sander. A guy came from there, vergessen where it was. And we sat on a table. It was a Hasana, you know, in Tirschenreuth. And, you know, but to introduce, so I said, Neumann, Burach Neumann. Sagt oh, he just come from Bergen-Belsen. There is a Neumann. Maybe we are related. And he got married last week. I said, I couldn't believe it. Sander had 7 children, and she went away to Auschwitz. And right after the war, he should got married. It's not my brother. It couldn't be. But I said I'm never going to be married again. But he said he thinks the name is from Sander Anaima. Look, I have a brother like this, but I don't think he's married. It couldn't be him. So I wrote him a letter, and I wrote him like that. Lieber Bruder, hier is a man von, wie heißt es schon?
Teusche.
Ja?
Teusche?
No, from Bergen-Belsen. And he said, you are married. I couldn't believe it. You are married. How could you get married a few weeks after the war? In case you're my brother, please answer me. So he answered with a letter, yeah, it's him. I couldn't believe it, you know. And then he was the rabbi. He was in Schwandorf. And I was married in Schwandorf mit Freuen. Sie gewesen a convention in Stuttgart. And Bruder went. I wanted to go too, but I couldn't go. But Semerochel was not feeling good, and I had to watch. She got a baby already. So they found Freuen by the convention. Shure Maskowitz, came to go. So they came home. I found.
So Shalom and Edith met after the war.
Yeah, they got married after. They came home. They said, "I found for you a boy." As I said, beautiful. I wanted a nice husband, and I didn't care his money or whatever, just a nice husband. And he said he's so and so. And Burach told them he should come for Shabbos. I was very angry at Burach. You didn't ask me nothing. Why you invited him for Shabbos? I don't want to see nobody. He said, but he comes already. I told him he should go. So he came, and I didn't want to dress myself. I didn't make my face. I was so like something. I was so angry. I put in a tichel. I had to zinglech. I put in a tichel in the front, you know, I tied it. I should look ugly. And he came, the balabus, fragte, this is Naiman's apartment. I saw him from outside. I said, this is going to be my husband, never in life. And he came in the house. I didn't want to speak to him, but I made Shabbos, you know, I cooked, I made very good fish. He said, never in my life I made fish like that. And he saw me, he wanted right away to marry me. I said, wait a second. This guy. So, you know, a lot of boys came and I told them they should go. When I want him, I'm going to call them, they should come back. But he had a mazel. He had needles to sell. Then he came one time and I told him he should go home. I'm going to call him, he could wait for the call. But he came back to sell the needles for a Polish man. But this was a lot of money there, they didn't have it. And he came for the next Shabbos and he was again by us. So Sander told me, go out with him, talk to him. So I went out with him and I didn't want to talk. I had a boy, he wanted to marry me before I was married, from Mittelwisch. So I told him I'm going to marry that guy. And they told Verfreuen, please don't tell as Moshe is engaged. He was engaged, that guy. He wrote me letters, says, you know, he should come, I didn't want to. I said I'm not going to marry ever, but I said I didn't marry the first and I'm not going to marry the second time, so I don't want he should come. So he got engaged with my cousin. Dad is a cousin too. And when I heard that he's a Husen, I was very happy. But they didn't want he should tell me. I didn't know that. And he talks, you know, we went for the days and he let you for the chasana. See, what's the matter with you? I have a boy comes from Europe. Who is here? Moshe. They were together in the yeshiva. He said Moshe is engaged. Sander told him he shouldn't tell me. But he told him, I don't know what. So I come in the house and I said, oh, Mazel Tov, Moshe is engaged already. He was so angry, Ephraim, but he told him. And then he came, I don't know. And he talked. He said, when I want to take somebody, she doesn't want it, then I want her. She doesn't want it, then I want. He doesn't want it. And I said, yeah, I wanted to get married to have a child. How can I have a child? I'm not married. So I told him I'm going to get married and I'm going to divorce her after. But it didn't happen. A lot of boys wanted to take me and I was embarrassed. They say Toby got married and she's divorced already. Just for this. You know. We are here, Baruch Hashem.
It was a good match, huh?
Thank God. No?
I'm da.
Zeg nog eens toe, Minion.
We're waiting for for a couple more.
They're coming.
Sit down, man.
This is...
Wow.
How many taping hours?
6 people, yeah.
Hours.
Hours?
Hours.
She started when she was a baby? That's only 2 minutes. She's so young. 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
It was a Muller baby.
But 3 people missing. Yes,
When Yankees upstairs.
The kids are still by mom?
No, they're home.
He's young.
Pam took. I walked from Far Rockaway. You can take me home after?
Was dat hangen Danny?
Mo.
Aiden?
Yeah, I opened the door, I threw him out. I was so afraid.
Very good.
Fulton Street, my son was. The block is black. everything was closed except for a fruit store, halal, kosher, Arab, across the street.
Really?
10 o'clock at night.
You know, ze geween, you know, in Germany, is, you know, when for Pesach, so you put in the, you know, in the windows, Pesach, like things. En ze geween dort een Italiener boer, got ook a store. So he didn't know as bright as, he bought, you know, kosher the Pesach things.
Right.
And I put it at the bread, kosher shel Pesach.
You learned in Dake?
So Bobby, how did you do it? How did you survive?
What?
But how?
How, like, what kept you going during, I mean...
Just I wanted to be with my first husband. This kept me. I didn't want no worship heaven. I loved him very much.
And you didn't know he was, when you were in camp, you didn't know where he was?
I knew when I came home from the lager, when I don't know, I couldn't get
How did you
married.
find out?
A friend there is going to get all together. So he told me he's dead. He's in a cave with 35,000 people.
You know,
In Russia.
in Babi Yar?
No, I don't think. It's a great typhus. He went January away to Montreal, you know, to work. In February he was gone.
Really? It was that long.
Bobby,
I love you.
thank you.
Ach, maar gefällt sie sagen, schön geht's
Thank you.
auch.
No, thank you for, you know, you made it. I mean, look, you have Einiglich, you have Ander Einiglich, Er Einiglich.
See, a crab.
Crap. Moshe Chaim, Akiva Amil, me, my brothers. Without you,
I really didn't want to go get married. I loved Gedade. You know, he used, I came after the Chasana, so I ate by the Schwäger. She didn't want I should cook. She loved me very much. She said, until you have children, you're going to eat by me. When you're going to have a family, you're going to be by yourself. So we ate by the Schwäger, and when we went, you know, out, he carried me in the hands like a baby. Boy, he loved me. Oh my God.
well,
I don't think as people could be so much in love.
Hey, we have one more cup.
do you need me? Am I the 10th?
You're
Or
11 if you want to come.
I'm coming. I'm here. That's what I'm here for. All right, we're gonna stop for now and.
hat war der no ein war shiny I belong like it's Khabla Yak weil er wurde geben mal Euro allein wenn wir zum Teufel können aktiv das mein Begoyer mein Benaim Ashmoi Biavo Bir Khoiz Mishai Mogam Khatu Atoino Mogain Abraham Amen Ati Ibrahim Adoin Ramais Matav Shim Hashuri Motagush Khan Khaiset Khamais Ibrahim Tem Khnoi Tem Roy Khoiz Mata Skir Fami Bnusal Shine for Wir moig mal gewesen Weimerach Wir meinten Khai Masliach Ishio in Natalach Meister hat war der neu Khai ja Meister die Javanari so ich soll sagen koidisch im Schalschen noch koidisch was ja hatten wir wurde sehr wie mal und Jesus noch uns gewoid der muss am schaffen wir immer und war ja da im Koim oder Kaschus bleiben was er wieder die hat gut ist schemper gut ist war ja immer ich erzähle kein mehr gut ist gut aber hat war da neu weil akudoi hat kein das namens Menschen eine mit der daher wie has hat war da neu heute na du eine wie soll sehr kein mal keiner aber sehr also rein Schiebschein auf den Herrchen hat war da neu ist selbst Schiebe auch mal wenig getun man kann die Schule alte ist gut hat war da neu an Marvel das war ja und wenn ja einer über Weine die rein geht vielleicht mal schmich ja gut hat war da neu du ja die frei und in Nairobi scheint es ja sein oder أنا ما بالغلط غياني خام غواني خام إسانتي شوين بخام إساني كم يغرب من أقوت الخطوة دويناي بخيلي أما يسوع ما كان يدين شو زايد يسوع طيبة كانت أموتة لبرخ بنادم سبعين مكيوا وش نسايش بس لبرخ كان تبي ما تود خشن بخطوة دويناي وراي خشونة am schreiber gute Heile sein und also gab es wie seine hat sein ja mehrere man das gut sein hat war neu am steht ja mal ist ruhig schon eine die was schöne jetzt eine wird hell was ein meine Junge war noch wir rein mal da die Rat vergessen du raten das keine Zelle mehr hat war neu wir heute doch gemisch war amen I'm ashamed to say I mean you weidi you am come you Christ was I'm a sacker schabe mager schale das bin ich nicht mehr meine ich hat war neu ich will mach mir seide alles so dick im war diese der scheiß am bei zu bei zu rein ich sehe die alleine und der mehr hat neu eine das doch hat Leute memes keine hier Mühe. Wenn man neibisch doch nicht Chaser, wenn es schon nie hat, war der neu. Bisschen Metro, das dicke. Na mir gebracht mit Tusch. Es im Säure Kastel Barto. Na jo ist gut bei mein bin ja oder. Kriegst du aber mal das doch hat war der neu. Wo in ei schroje. Dem du aber noch meistens mir am Tumschur sagen. Der Chance mit Wiener Kajoins haben die Schio. hat war neu. Es wir kennen Schio. Aber ich mag alleine hat die neue Heini. Es braucht mal eine. Weil brauchen du sagst du sein. Ich warte wieder seine Mutter will mal kein Reiker. Hat das Schweini. Ein war nein, ich macht will sein. Ja, das schmeckt wie es quer so braucht man. hat war neu. Schmeckt viel. Also nein, man muss so so. Was ist das heute wie beschäftigt ist so. Es muss man mal was kann hier ist ein Tomat aber ist mehr. Das ist eine einzige Zimmer hat war neu. Mal das kann uns mal sehen. Also sehr aber das ist schon mal sehr wirklich so. Toy Kefurach Mechu, am Rachem Yitam Chasdechu, in the Oilam Kilo. Al Kiems Borek Srenis Hast, Shema Kain Tumet Lein Uwe, Oil Chaim, die Chaselo. Alle Wochen schon mit einem Steuer. Why should sign you to say Halo at the Ratu? I do know. I tell Shemach and the Lade. Shem I broke time, raised to the Ratu. Well, I know I said, Mecho. Heine Wienerkugel, a boy Penecho. You have not thought about the hunters, Heine, I was facing. It's not a brother, I even never Heine was happy, swear. Well, I was sure Mecho in the Schule, what do you know? Well, some is swear the Schule. Dat is mijn raad. Oh, de wil je zeggen, mag je zeggen, kom hier uit. Ah ja, ik heb je maar bij zich terug. Maar ik het maar goed hebben, in bril mij. Mijn raad, maar je het worden. Dat is nooit zo niet naast. Dat alles geleefd, zoals het kistje begint. Eigenlijk had ik goed naar moeten. We all know you, Romein. Ja, but sluizen, we zijn gewoon een schmaar jaren in Romein. Als je maar een schmaar gaat in Romein, ga je terug in Romein. Als je een bloem op, ja, als je een Romein hebt, ga je terug in Romein. Maar gesproken met hem gehoord. Die nog iemand geen willen nemen, maar wat die dan heel gehoord is. En wie dat je echt had, schmooi echt had, is gala wist, gala schmooi rauw. Aber Christa ja ist mit Gott am Schirr. Ga ja, ik heb je maar gaan bij die stroe. Da goed is maar voor hem Romein. Hij schmooi rauw, maar is goed dat het is mis naast. Shadov, Salev, Salash, Kishbech. I am Christus, Schutz, das muss. Wir ja, Romain. Yashum Ram Shmael, Hamalain, Israel, Rain. Bremo, Yashum Rain, Israel, Rain.